In this video, we're going to learn about Russian handwriting, Русский почерк. This is really important because, for one, you need to be able to read handwriting in case something gets written down that you need to read, and also you need to be able to write in handwriting because Russians do not print. Russians never learn to print, they just skip straight to the cursive. So as I go through each letter, you should practice it on a piece of paper along with me. You might have seen memes going around the internet that look like this. Russian cursive makes me cry sometimes. And these at first can look just like a bunch of squiggles. However, it's really not that hard. We will start to learn it today and you will practice it and perfect it over the next few weeks, and then after that you'll be pretty much ready to just write in Russian in cursive all the time. I'm going to walk you through how to form these letters. I'm not sure if I make it the perfect way that a first grade teacher would have taught me, but I have been successful in having people understand my writing for a long time. I'm going to pretend that this is the line on the paper so that you can see which letters go above or below the line. And I've done these in alphabetical order, partly to start helping you get oriented to the alphabetical order of Russian. So we will start with the first letter of the alphabet. It's a little bit different in the uppercase from the English. And it always has this, see this hook on the front? You should try it along with me on a piece of paper. Whereas the lowercase is very similar to English. How about be? I always start my be with a curly cue on the top, like this, and then go down on the left, and then make a circle on the right. Let's make another one. Curly cue on top, down, and around. The lowercase b, you start and make a circle this way and then go around. B. Now how about v, which is the next in our alphabetical order? I usually go down like this to make v. Sometimes I'll also just make it like this, but technically I think it has a swish there, like that. And now if I do a lowercase v, it's similar to ours, but not quite the same. You make a big, tall loop and then around like this. V. V. How about our next one, ge? Ge starts the same way as the b, and actually the first two steps of the b are ge. Curly cue on top, and then down and to the left. Ge. And now lowercase g looks kind of like a backwards small s. And sometimes it's connected to the letter before it, and so it'll just look like that when it's connected, or sometimes it's by itself. G. Now how about d? Uppercase d looks very similar to ours. Something like this. Whereas lowercase d looks like our G. This can be confusing, and it does go below the line. I'll just mention it here also that you can sometimes see, d looking like this. But most of the time I would recommend doing the G, the one that looks like G. D. Ye is very similar to our English E. Ye. Yeah. The next letter is easy. It's yo. It looks just like yeah, except for it has the dots on the top. Yo. And actually, some people write it without writing the dots. I'll try to always remember to, but just so you're aware. Now the next one, je, is a challenging one. So to make the je, first we make a backwards C, see how that goes, then up, then down, and then a frontward C. But you do it all in one stroke without lifting up your pen. Let's try that again. Backwards C, up in the middle, down, frontward C. Isn't that a cool looking letter though? And then the lowercase is just the same, just smaller. Z. How about z? It looks like a 3, and it looks similar to a 3 also when we write it. The uppercase is on the line, and the lowercase goes below the line. Z. Now, E. Of course, it looks like a backwards N, but this is E. And actually, in our cursive, it looks more like an English U. So like this. And upper or lowercase also looks like a U. That's E. I kratkaya. Again, same, except for we have to have this hat on top. I kratkaya. And the hat is not optional. Sometimes these dots above the yo are considered optional, but this hat is not considered optional. Now, ka. It does look a little bit different from English K. We start with a curly Q, go down and up, and then finish with the bottom. I'll make another one of those. Ka. And now lowercase is simply like this. Notice that it's not tall. The English one goes all the way up like that, but the Russian one does not. It stays short. Ka. Now we have L. One important thing about L is that it has a hook on the front of it. See this hook right here? It has it in the uppercase and also the lowercase, but it's basically just half the size. L. That hook is really important because otherwise, if you don't have it, it could start to look like a G. M also has a hook on the front of it. And this is what M looks like. See this hook again? And if you don't have the hook there, it could start to look like an E. The lowercase is just the same, just half the size. M. Now, N. Do you remember how we made ka? We did a curly Q and came around. N starts the same way. So we make a curly Q, come around, but then we keep going and go like that. N. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? And then the lowercase n is quite simple. You just go down on the left and make a stroke like that. N. O. Very similar to English. O. Now, P. If you remember how we made G, where we started like this on the top and went down like this, we start the P the same way, but then just add an extra leg. This is the uppercase P. And then the lowercase looks like what we would have in English as N. So note the difference between N, like this, and P, like this. Now, R. I see R made that way sometimes, or sometimes just like this. Looks like P. The lowercase is a little different though. Come down below the line, but don't close it here. Keep it open. R. Now, S. Looks very similar to English C. S. T. We started the same way as we started G, and then P, but then add one more leg. So T has 3 legs. Curly Q on top, and then down in the middle. T, lowercase, actually looks like what we would think of in English as M. Oftentimes people will put a line over it like this. Sometimes it helps you see it in the middle of a word. So lowercase t looks like M, sometimes with a line over it. Ooh. Ooh, we start towards the top, go like this, and around like this. Do not go below the line. Keep it above the line. But in lowercase, you can put it below the line, and it looks very similar to English Y. Ooh. Now, F. With uppercase F, we start towards the top, make this go around like this, and then make 2 humps with it. So up and down like that. Lowercase f is similar, but a little bit simpler, and you can go a little bit below the line. Almost make like a little bow tie with it. Go down in the middle, and then kind of a bow tie. F. Ha is the same for upper and lower case. Whoops, I didn't make them connect. They should connect like this. Kind of backwards C and frontwards C connecting. And the lowercase is just half the size. Ts. Kind of come around as if you're making an E, right? And then make a little tail at the bottom. Ts. Don't make the tail too big or it might start to look like ooh. So just make it small. The lowercase is similar, just without a curly Q and then half the size. You can go below the line with t's tail, but just a little bit. Now we have ch. For ch, we start here and then go down and to the right. It's similar to, you remember oo, like this, except for that it goes the opposite way. So down and to the right. The lowercase looks like this. Ch. Now we have sh. Make a small curly Q. And then like 3 humps kind of. The lowercase is the same, but half the size and without the curly Q. Sometimes people will underline it, because sometimes that can help you distinguish it between that and a t, for example. If the line is on the top, it's t. If the line's on the bottom, it's sh. And sh. Very similar, but with a little tail. And similar to t. Don't make the tail too long. Just a little bit under the line. So sh. And sh. Now we have tvrdy znak, or hard sign, and it generally doesn't exist in the capital, so it's only a lowercase. You make a little curly Q, and then go down and around. The hard sign, tvrdy znak. Uj. Make a little thing that goes down and then out again. Uj. It also doesn't tend to occur in the capital. It's only a lowercase. Soft sign, similar to hard sign, but without the curly Q. Almost like a tiny little 6, but don't go around the top like that. Keep it straight on the left side. Mjaki znak, soft sign. Just 3 more letters. Here we have e, which is pretty much made like it looks in both upper and lower case. E. Now we have u. It starts similarly to F, where we go down like this, and then you kind of go around in a circle. U. The small one is similar, but a little bit less fancy. U. And then one of the more challenging ones is ya. This is another one like L and M that starts with a hook on the front, and the hook is important. So start with the hook, go up, kind of diagonal, around, and down. Let's try that again. Hook, up diagonally, around, and down. And the lowercase is the same, just smaller. Uppercase and lowercase. Ya. Now we're going to try some real words so that you can see how these letters connect to each other. Here we have plush, a raincoat. We start with p, and remember that you can go back to the reference of how to make the letters on the textbook website. So here we have P. We start with P. Looks kind of like English N. L, A, and then sh. It's important here to make sure that you have the hook on the front of the L, because if you don't, then this starts to look like a G. So be sure to have this hook on the front. Let's try it again the right way. We'll erase the wrong way and try it the right way. So, plush. How about ремень, belt? We start with R. It goes below the line. Remember not to close this here. Remember the hook on the front of the M. And here, N, should have gone down maybe a little farther, has to have this go down. Because if it doesn't, if you don't have this line here, it can look like a ch. So be careful of that. Again, let's erase the wrong way of doing it. And we'll do the right way. ремень, belt. Below the line, hook. Line down. And mякий знак, soft sign at the end. How about bluzka? Here we have B. Hook on the L. U goes below the line. Z also goes below the line. And ka. Remember not to make the ka too high. Not like bluzka. Not too high like that. Let's erase the wrong way to do it. But bluzka with the ka low. Bluzka. Let's try платье, dress. P again, L hooked. A. Платье. And if we want to, we can write a line over the T. Let's try it again. Платье. How about юбка, skirt? U goes around like this. B, юбка. Again, ka low. Юбка. Now let's try jeansy. You can tell what it means easily. Jeans, da. Jeansy. De. Remember, it looks like G in English. J is this challenging letter here. E, N, jeansy. Remember how to make J? Backwards C, up and down, and then forward C. So let's try this word again, jeansy. You can see that I pick my pen up a lot in between letters. Some people don't. Let's try майка, or t-shirt. Майка. Hook on the front of the M is very important, or else it will look like an E. The hat on the и краткая is very important, and the ka being low. So hook, hat, low ka. How about kofta, shirt? Kofta. And if we want, we can put a line over the T. Remember how to make F? Down and then kind of like a bow tie. Da, kofta. Хорошо. Let's try this long one. Rubашka, like a button-down shirt. R and U will both go below the line. Again, our ka being low. Sh, we can underline if we want to. Remember not to close the r here. U also goes below the line. Rubashka. Let's try плохо. P, L with the hook. And then you can write your h like this. Sometimes I write it like, just like that. I didn't make quite big enough of a hook here at the beginning of плохо. Let's erase the wrong way to do it and we'll try it again. I often kind of do my h just like that, but I think the more correct way is to do it like that. Here's a long word, американец. Remember the hook on the front of the M. Don't close the R. E is like you. And then not too long of a tail on yets. Американец. Now let's try aeroport. Two R here. Don't close it. Aeroport. 3 words that are important. You should be able to write the name of the country that you're studying. Russia, da. Россия. So here we have the capital R. Россия. Let's remember how to make that ya. Hook, up, down, and around. We'll try that again. So let's try the whole country. Россия. And now how about its capital city? Moskva. Hook on the M. Remember how to make the V? Kind of go around like that. Let's try Moskva again. And then you want to be able to say where you're from. Michigan. Hook on the M again. Ch. Michigan. Notice the difference between the ch here, like this, and the g, like this. Or some people would connect it and have it be like that. Let's write it how it would be connected. Michigan. Either of these ways is okay. Michigan. In this part, next few slides, I'm going to show you what are some common mistakes. And don't worry too much if you make them. It's natural in the beginning of your learning the handwriting that you'll make some of these mistakes. Just sort of drawing your attention so that later, when I say, hey, look back at the common mistakes, you can find them here. So obviously it's easy to mix up b and v. So let's just make the difference between them. B versus v. So practice that a little bit. This is b, whereas this is v. Now, don't forget that L, M, and ya have hooks on the front of them. So L has that little hook. M has the same little hook. And ya has the same little hook. And if you don't put the hook there, then they end up looking like other letters. L can look like a G, and M can look like an E. So these hooks at the beginning are really important. L, M, ya. Of course, it's also easy to mix up P and N. P looks like what we would think of as an N, whereas N looks more like this. So P, N, P, N. These may be confusing for a while, but you'll get used to them and then be able to recognize the difference pretty easily. Again, of course, it's easy to make a mistake between P and then air, which is the same, but it goes below the line. P stays above the line. Goes below the line. But again, don't connect it at the bottom. Keep it open. Ch, N, and G can sometimes be confused. Ch looks like this, whereas N goes all the way down. So ch is kind of halfway up, whereas N goes all the way down. Also, sometimes ch can be connected, so then it looks like this. But the difference would be that the N would have the line all the way down. Can you see the difference between those two? And then G will kind of look like this. It can look similar. You can see how ch and G could sometimes look similar, but ch is square on top, whereas G is round on top. Ts and U can be mixed up if you make the tail too long on the ts. So ts should look like something like this. If you made the tail too long, then it might start to look like U. See, so keep on ts, keep it short, and then U, it's long, it goes below the line. Ts, the tail can go a little bit below the line, but not much. O and A, sometimes if you connect the O to the next word, it might start to look like an A. So if you want to connect the O, you have to connect it at the top, whereas A will come down and connect at the bottom. V and mякий знак. V is tall, whereas mякий знак is half the size. V and mякий знак. T and P could be mixed up if you don't put enough humps on the T. It could start to look like a P, so make sure to put enough humps on each one. Of course, Ts, Sh, and Sh are kind of similar. These two both have the same kind of short little tail, and this one does not. So if you forget to put the tail on the Sh, it will look like a Sh. And if you make this look too big, then it'll end up looking like the one with the tail. So be careful with your tails. And of course, Ui. Oh, and I should have put this one as a hard sign. Ui and mякий знак and tвердый знак are kind of similar, but be sure to keep them distinct. So Ui look like this, mякий знак like this. And then tвердый знак is like mякий знак, but with a little tail on the top. Can you read this? It says, молодец. You learned the whole alphabet in cursive. Don't worry if it didn't all sink in right away. We will continue practicing with this.